Are we ready for booktube inception? Because I'm vlogging me doing a video. I'm going to turn it off because it's too weird. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Alyssa, and it is time to shop my shelves for April. I've been really enjoying vlogging for you guys and sharing my thoughts on books as I've been going along throughout the month of March. It's been great getting back into the vlogging spirit. I've been chugging my water, and we're gonna keep reading books from my shelves. I've been unhauling books and hauling books and just sort of exchanging books in and out of my life as I've been working my way through things I haven't read here at home or things that I just don't want to read ever again or at all. This is my Shop My Shelves, where I go through my shelves and make a pile of books to attempt to read for the month of in question. If you enjoy stuff like this, please subscribe. If you enjoy vlogs, please subscribe. I can't say that I do anything terribly interesting in my vlogs, but I'll cook and tell you how I make random ass foods. Like sometimes my dog has like a total meltdown. So I have quite a few books for this month. This is another month where I have apparently lost my mind, and I'm going to try to read like too many super chunky books in a row. And before I get into these, let's just remember that I still have going The Books of Jacob by Olga Tokarczuk. One day I'll get it. I keep trying, and that's what matters. So that book is mammoth. I'm 100 pages into it as of filming today. By the time this is up, I will hopefully be like more like 3 or 4, but it's like a 900-page book. That one is going to be going throughout the beginning of April. And then we get into the rest of the books. So we have my TBR lowdown pick for April, or our TBR lowdown pick for April, because it's not just about me. I have the beautiful, wonderful Naomi. We have a podcast and a book club, and this is the April pick, and I'm super excited for it. It is Battle Royale, the novel, and if you don't know what this is, it is Koshun Takami's notorious high-octane thriller envisions a nightmare scenario. A class of junior high school students is taken to a deserted island where, as part of a ruthless authoritarian program, they are provided arms and forced to kill until one survivor is left standing. Criticized as violent exploitation when first published in Japan, where it became a runaway bestseller, of course, Battle Royale is a Lord of the Flies for the 21st century, a potent allegory of what it means to be young and barely alive in a dog-eat-dog world. I know this is a manga. I believe this is even like, I'm sure this is a show. This is a phenomenon that we are super psyched to tackle in April. I'm just like, ah. And next up in Chunky Chunk Land is The Blinding Knife, which is book 2 in the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. As you know, I read book 1 in March. Absolutely loved it. We'll talk more about it later, but if you follow the vlogs, you know that I seriously enjoyed this series. I went out and I have books 1 through 4. There's the 5th and final book I do not have yet because when I was thrifting them, the 5th book was super expensive and that made me angry. So I will get the 5th book when I'm closer to it. But yeah, super excited for this. I'm not going to read you the summary because that'll give stuff away, but essentially this has like this light magic system. So the magic system, not everybody has magic, and the magic is finite, and you control different light, and different light does different things. And there is like this monotheist, one God society that is, you know, the main current society, and then there's this faction of people that are starting this war. And I think that I've gathered from the first book that they are more of like a polytheist, right? They're more of like a many-godded culture or world, and I don't know, they're at war. There's a whole thing. There's all kinds of secrets. There's lots of double crosses. It's really fast-paced and engaging so far, and I can't believe I've slept on that series. So totally psyched for it. I did not get to The Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan, which is book 5 of The Wheel of Time. I will be getting to this in April, so I can keep going on with this series. I know Naomi and I talk about this in an upcoming podcast episode. We will briefly touch on it. That like neither of us is overly thrilled with Wheel of Time. Like I'm going to keep reading it because there's characters I really enjoy, and I kind of want to see how it goes. And I'm sure that there's a lot of influence from this into other works. This is kind of one of those core fantasy sort of texts. It's a little bit more modern, obviously, but like it just feels like it's something that I should have under my belt to understand other things within the fantasy world. But I'm going to say it's not like, as of this point in my journey through Wheel of Time, it is not like my favorite series. I know there are lots of people here in fantasy world who are like absolutely in love with this, and this is their like end all and be all. This is their Tolkien, like, but that's not. But yep, happy to get back to that. Again, let's flip the script. Book 6 of The Expanse is up on deck. This is Babylon's Ashes. I'm going to start this next week because my audiobook keeps coming in, but I'm not ready to start. So it's here. I have book 6. I love this series. This is a wonderful sci-fi space opera. As soon as I finish the entire series, I am going to start the show. I just have to. It's so good. I need to see Amos in the flesh. I need it, and I'm super excited to get back to all of my friends in The Expanse, because this book, like, you grow so attached to everybody. I just love it. And the one thing that they do, James, Essay, Corey, what they do, like, with the pacing of the book is just so great. Like, not like every chapter ends in a cliffhanger, but so many chapters end in cliffhangers that, like, you just keeps propelling you through the story. I worked out this morning, so my brain is dead. But yeah, it keeps propelling you through the stories. The story's very propulsive, I think is what I was trying to say. But yeah. And then in other things that are fantasy books that I'm continuing in series, focus on me. Thank you. Is A Torch Against the Night by Sabatier. And I don't know, am I the only one who hates when your book covers don't match? I do like this edition of the covers, but I don't have the other 3 in this edition, and I need to get a new one of these if I continue to like the series. So this is a YA fantasy series. It's 4 novels long. Starts with An Ember in the Ashes. I'm loving the story. I'm loving the little bits of romance, and I just like the world building. It's been a really good time. I have no complaints about it so far. I've heard some people say it falls off in the second half of the series, but we'll see. We'll see. I have 3 more books, and I will let you know when I know. So we're still doing the 12 Women, 12 Countries, obviously, because it's only April. 2022 hasn't ended, as much as some of us may want it to. And I am excited to pull another one of my translated fiction works off the shelves, and this is by Eileen Lund Ferris. I can't say like Scandinavian names very well. I always forget where she's from. I think she's from Norway. I think she's Norwegian. But this is just a very short little book that sounded very, very good. This is a story of Aspen and Emily. He is a literary critic in a cultural weekly. She is a young, promising journalist at the same paper. After a party at work, they end up sleeping together. Fixed Ideas is a contemporary account of desire, gender, and longing for love, about fundamental loneliness and the constant gnawing self-consciousness that threatens our ability to open our eyes for other people. So, sounds like it's going to be moody and literary and all the kinds of things that I like. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive into that one. And then I have like 5 sort of like if I can get to them books. And the first is my adult fiction book from this past month's Unplugged book box, which I'll link the unboxing somewhere, but also I have a box to give away. So I'm going to give away that box, I think, in conjunction with this posting. So check out my Instagram. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel over here, but check out my Instagram for the details of the giveaway for the March adult box from Unplugged, because this is the book, and it is not The Witch You Wed, which sounds like a super cute witchy rom-com that gives me simply irresistible Sarah Michelle Gellar vibes. I don't know why. I think it's just like the cover, and I have this sort of nostalgic rom-com thing for Sarah Michelle Gellar in that movie. I don't know, but super cute, and I'll read you what it says in the back. It says, magicless witch Violet Maxwell wants nothing to do with alpha wolf shifter Lincoln Thorne, the man who broke her fragile teenage heart. But when the two of them are forced by arcane, supernatural laws to find mates, Violet and Lincoln agree to fake date their way to a fake mating in order to conjure themselves some time. The joke's on them when old feelings make a reappearance along with Violet's magic. They both realize there's nothing fake about their feelings, but there are old secrets and looming threats that could snatch away their happily ever after again. One thing's for sure, magic doesn't make dating and love any easier. Like, how cute is that? Cute. Let's flip the switch again. Let's flip the script. Switch the script. Let's flip shit. So then, in terms of a nonfiction this month, I think I'm going to focus on The Cult of Trump by the wonderful cult expert Stephen Hassan. And this is a leading cult expert explains how the president uses mind control. So definitely going to be an interesting read. And this is what the back says. Since his election in 2016, Donald Trump's behavior has become increasingly erratic and alarming. And yet many of his followers remain blindly devoted. Behind this bizarre display of lies and narcissism, there is a familiar pattern, a cult leader and his followers. Stephen Hassan, one of America's leading cult and mind control experts, has been counseling people out of destructive relationships for more than 40 years. In this book, he takes the reader on a journey into the dark and dangerous world of mind manipulation, drawing parallels between Trump and such notorious cult leaders as Jim Jones, David Koresh, L. Ron Hubbard, and Sun Myung Moon. Trump claims, like many cult leaders, that only he can fix America. Yet, as Hassan shows, Trump is part of a complex web of influence that includes the Christian right, the alt-right, and the right-wing media. An accessible and in-depth analysis of the president, The Cult of Trump, reveals that under the right circumstances, even sane, rational, well-adjusted people can be persuaded to believe the most outrageous ideas and leader. I have nothing else to say. That is, if you would like a reading vlog for that, or if anybody wants to read it with me, and we want to have a panel to discuss it, I know that Jess Owens, myself, and a couple people from the Cultish and the girls from the Cultish live I did have expressed some interest in this book, but I don't know where they are in their life right now. I'm not going to assign reading to people, but yeah, let me know. Also, I have a couple things that have been sitting on my shelf for a while. I have The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. I have a friend, one of my friends did say that they really enjoyed this, and I guess it's time, if I can get to it, to see how I feel, and if I don't like it, I'll unhaul it. Days since the Infinity left Earth, 6,817. The daughter of two astronauts, Rami Silvers, is no stranger to life in space, but she never knew how isolating the universe could be until her parents' tragic deaths left her alone on the Infinity, a spaceship speeding away from Earth. Rami tries to make the best of her lonely situation, but with only brief messages from her therapist on Earth to keep her company, she can't help but feel like something is missing. It seems like a dream come true when NASA alerts her that another ship, the Eternity, will be joining the Infinity. Rami begins exchanging messages with Jay, the commander of the Eternity, and her friendship with Jay breathes new life into her world. But as the Eternity gets closer, Rami learns that there's more to Jay's mission than she could have imagined, and suddenly there are worse things than being alone. Definitely sounds really interesting and up my alley, and I've had it for so long that it's time, if I can squeeze it in, it'll be time to get to that. And then the other book that I have on here is Small Pleasures by Claire Chambers. This has come up on, I think, the Women's Prize list, and my mom read it and enjoyed it, and Naomi, my co-host, read it and enjoyed it. So I think it's time that I try it, because I have it. Let's read it. In the best tradition of Anne Patchett, Kazuo Ishiguro, and Tessa Hadley, an astonishing, keenly observed story of an ordinary British woman in the 1950s whose dutiful life takes a wholly unexpected turn into struggle between propriety and passion. It's both a mystery and a love story. It's a captivating look at the conflict between personal fulfillment and duty, the novel that celebrates the beauty and potential for joy in all things plain and unfashionable. So I also just like the cover. I think it's really pretty. So I got this book from the Book Barn a while back because it sounded very good and something that I would like. And I feel like I keep kind of seeing it as I go into my library app. So like on Libby, it'll show up in a lot of the audiobooks. And I just feel like I kind of keep noticing it randomly, like here and there. Not a lot, but just enough for me to take a moment and pause and go, I have that book. I wonder if I should read that now. And that is Orhan Pomex Snow, which is going to be hard to show you, I think, because of the glare of the library binding. Yeah, this, I don't know, it just sounded good, and I think maybe it's time to finally read it. From the acclaimed author of My Name is Red, a sumptuous thriller, John Updike, comes a spellbinding tale of desperate yearning for love, art, power, and God, set in a remote Turkish town where stirrings of political Islam threatens to unravel the secular order. Following years of lonely political exile in Western Europe, Ka, a middle-aged poet, returns to Istanbul to attend his mother's funeral. Only partly recognizing this place of his cultured middle-class youth, he is even more disoriented by news of strange events in the wider country. A wave of suicides among girls, forbidden to wear their headscarves at school, an apparent thaw of his writer's curiosity, a frozen sea these many years, leads him to Kars, a far-off town near the Russian border, and the epicenter of the suicides. No sooner has he arrived, however, than we discover that Ka's motivations are not purely journalistic. For in Kars, once a province of Ottoman and then Russian glory, now a cultural gray zone of poverty and paralysis, there is also either Ipek or Ipek, a radiant friend of Ka's youth, lately divorced, whom he has never forgotten. As a snowstorm, the fiercest in memory, descends on the town and seals it off from the modern westernized world that has also been Ka's frame of reference, he finds himself drawn in unexpected directions, not only headlong towards the ignoble Ipek, and the desperate hope for love, or at least a wife, that she embodies, but also in the maelstrom of a military coup staged to restrain the local Islamic radicals, and even towards God, whose existence Ka has never before allowed himself to contemplate. In this surreal confluence of emotion and spectacle, Ka begins to tap his dormant creative powers, producing poem after poem in untimely, irresistible bursts of inspiration, but not until the snows have melted and the political violence has run its bloody course will Ka discover the fate of his bid to seize a last chance at happiness. Blending profound sympathy and mischievous wit, I like that. Snow illuminates the contradictions gripping the individual and the collective heart in many parts of the Muslim world, but even more, it is a narrative brilliance and comprehension of the needs and duties felt in hearts everywhere. This novel confirms Pomex as a literary master of the highest order. It just sounds like really freaking good. And I have to read it. I like the idea of like just being caught in this, of creating this isolation with the snowstorm and then having everything sort of play out. It's like all the cards have to be played. Everybody has to, like, you can't escape. So everything's got to come out on the table. Does that make sense? I think it sounds really good, and I'm really hoping I can get to it. First chunk of books that I went through with you guys, that's a lot of reading. So some chunky ass books. This latter half is going to be, I can get to as many as I can, but yeah, it's just, these are just hopefuls for the month. So I don't make hard and fast TBRs. If I don't get to the books, I don't beat myself up about it because there's always the next month. You know, it's a lifelong journey trying to read all these books, and all that matters is that I'm reading. I would love to know what you guys are reading this month, so let me know down below something that you are looking forward to reading. Otherwise, please like and subscribe if that's something that you feel compelled to do, and I will see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Bye!
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me, trying to find another way to say